Hello, I'm Teresa Moore, and today I have Dr. James Wanless, who is the creator of Voyager Tarot, but he also has, James, how many books do you have?
Boy, half a dozen, something like that.
I say that, 6 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Books out, and one of his books that I had him resurrect is a book on intuition at work, at home, and at play. And so today's class is we're going to do a little introduction, and we're going to resurrect the book because we're starting a new series of Intuition at Work webcasts. So there'll be a weekly series where you can start to learn intuition and how to apply it to work, play, or life. Relationships. Great. I'm going to take a few minutes and talk about accelerated learning, rapid learning, or where I originally learned it, and that was from photo reading. So about 25 years ago, I learned a process called photo reading, and I read 25 to 50,000 words a minute. So I'm going to use some of those skills at going through Dr. Wanless's book. We're going to go straight to the source, the author, and just go through the book, learn a little bit about what it is, and then teach you some techniques on intuition. So photo reading, accelerated learning, rapid learning, or instant reading is a process to create a bridge between your conscious and your other than conscious mind.
Right.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that. As you flip through the book, 25,000 words a minute really means, and you hold your book if you would, 25,000 words a minute means you're flipping the book at about a page, and I don't know if you can get that, at about a page a second. That's 25,000 words a minute. So if I'm flipping at 50,000, I'm flipping at half a page a second. Now, what's going on is we're not reading with our conscious mind. All we're doing is, in a sense, taking a mental photograph of the page, storing it in the other than conscious mind, and then there's a process of recall. And it's the recall that starts to build that intuition.
Right.
Because if you would, before we even start, tell me in your experience, how would you describe what intuition is?
Thank you for starting with that one. Well, intuition means knowing from within, education from within.
I truly have developed, it took me 25 years, and hopefully with your book it won't take 25 years.
Well, this should be about 5 seconds.
Because it's a little book. But really to start to teach how to rely on that intuition, how to know when it's intuition versus question.
You know what's so great about photo reading now, in light of the whole neuroscience of the brain, we now know that if you go into a store and you're going to say, well, should I buy that book or this crystal or whatever, that hat, those shoes, if you're wired up with neuroscientists, they can tell you with 100% accuracy whether you're going to buy that item or not within 1/4 of a second.
Excellent.
Now, 1/4 of a second is not something we can even comprehend. We are that fast.
Exactly. And photo reading is, and I'll give you my little speech when I start my photo reading class or my accelerated learning class. Most people, the reason they can't is because their mental mind has conditionings that say it is not possible to read 25,000 words a minute. And so the whole class is really giving people experiences of instantaneous information and then going, where did that come from? Because you didn't know that a minute ago. And why do you know that now?
Right.
And the book reading can give me the process to be able to build that reference, to start to trust. That's inner knowing. It is a resource of knowledge. It could even be, and this is the next level, with your Voyager Tarot deck, it could even be starting to read somebody else's knowing, which you do very well, because you're attuned or you've built the muscle to be able to recognize or read information that's not in physical materialistic form.
Right.
So I teach the accelerated learning program as a way to start someone into the sensations of when you're tapping into your intuition. So I thought it was so appropriate to use Intuition at Work as a first photo reading book. Now I'm going to, as the first book that we teach webcasted online of how to read. So my iPad allows me to flip through a book.
That's cool.
As fast as
That's very cool.
100,000, 500,000 words a minute. And we really are able to absorb faster than as fast as I can flip. We can really absorb information instantaneously. And that's what we're moving into. We're being conditioned with all of the emails we get bombarded with. It's coming across digitally. And so I'm going to take you through a little process to start to gain new references for how we receive information, the written word, and where and how that started. We have, and so today we're going to do several things. We're going to start out with the process of starting to condition your mental mind on the link between the other than conscious, and that is the process of starting to train the conscious mind on recall is by reading the table of contents, and then we're going to flip through the book. So basically I have you think of your mind as a copy machine. And we're going to just go through and copy every page. And if you find yourself catching your mind stopping and saying, oh, I want to read more about this, that's a key to say, this is what you're interested in. At the end of 2 minutes, you will know whether you want to read the book. And more importantly, as we do this, things are going to jump out of you. That is the first step of recognizing the connection between the conscious and the other than conscious mind, where your mind says, I want more. And the dump will occur. The recall, or that little pearl, there's lots of ways we describe it, will start to pull it. So, because we're going to have this online class where you can tap into Dr. Wanless every week, as you've stored this information in your other than conscious mind, it's going to trigger experiences, questions, or activate the desire to learn more, and specific applications that you can ask for direction, support, or insight from Dr. Wanless through that live web. You've gone through the book in about 2 minutes. You read the table of contents, the front and back cover. You actually got Dr. Wanless to read us the table of contents. It actually stimulated a lot of information, didn't it? And yeah. So we can look forward to, in this weekly interactive live class, starting to learn these many years of experience that you have in fine-tuning or...
I'd love to share them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Your intuition, your skills, your techniques, your experiences, the experience of all the women that you teach. You've been teaching your Voyager Tarot for a long...
25 years.
And my experience with you is you're like traveling 9/10 of the year. You're like always, oh, Jim's in Belgium, okay, Jim's in North Carolina, Jim's in, and you're just constantly.
Somewhere, yeah.
So hopefully, and that was the attraction with this new technology. I went, Jim, you don't have to travel as much if we get you teaching interactive live.
Well, we have to do business differently.
Yes, and we've had some extraordinary experiences in an interactive live environment where we really are in the same energetic space. And I look forward to you creating that energetic space so that people can just tap into your morphogenic field of information through the internet.
Right.
And instead of taking it 20, 30 years, you can take on his experiences instantaneously. And that's the exciting thing about the internet and webcasting.
Right.
And so I'm so honored that you have agreed to take your intuition at work into an interactive live environment.
Thank you for noticing.
It's only been in my awareness for what? How long? 20 years.
Right. Yeah. But then it's overnight.
Yeah, and then it's like the timing's now. The timing is now.
Thank you.
That was intuition at work,
is
at
now.
Play, and at home.
Now.
Yeah, now! Thank you for joining us. I encourage you, please trust that even though you didn't read every word, it's in there. And start looking in the next week for experiences that have been triggered by something that you read in Dr. Wanless's book, or something that we talked about here today, because it's all synchronicity.
Yeah.
It happens for a reason and a purpose, and it serves you. Aloha.
Thank you.